Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is one that I know tons of you have been waiting for, and I've been getting a ton of questions today. We're going to tear into the 5.3 Cateye and see what's wrong and why we have the low oil pressure. But before we get started on that, I want to show you guys what I got in the mail. Now, it's not parts for the Cateye. I went and bought the parts that we're going to replace today, and I'm going to get into that later. But well, that's not important. That's just rags. Aux beam, we got the hook up again. These are the fog lights for the Duramax. If you missed that video, we put aux beam highs and lows in the Duramax, and then here's the fog lights. So I'm super excited to get those in there because I always drive around with my fog lights on, whether it's daylight or nighttime. I'm just that kind of guy. Now in here is beauty. So you guys know, and I'd walk out there, but it's wet and all that. Factory headlight, we can use the van here as a perfect example. Factory headlights have that ugly amber side marker there, and the Duramax of course has it, and I hate it, and the Cateye has not had it for a very long time, so the Duramax should be no exception. So what I have purchased for the truck is, get it flipped up here, all clear headlights. So there's the side markers, and they are clear, and the whole housing is brand new, nice, and the plastic is all clean and clear and not old or faded or fogged over or anything like that. So super excited to put these in, and actually that's gonna be a separate video, and I'm not gonna put them in this weekend because the tail lights will be here next like Tuesday or Wednesday. So the tail lights are already on the way for the truck. Got those, and we'll do it all in one video, and that'll be like next weekend. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get inside of the truck. I'm gonna go head over to my buddy Austin's shop, and I'll tell you what we're gonna do to diagnose the problem with the 5.3. Alrighty guys, so I kind of skipped the whole putting it up on the lift thing so that way we can just get to work. But what we're doing today, what we're gonna try, I've got the O-ring for the pickup tube. And I got the new oil pan gasket. The easiest thing I can do just to start to see where we're at is pull that oil pan off, because it's really not going to be that bad, and replace that O-ring, and from there, you know, and see if that doesn't fix the problem, because that's the easiest thing to fix and it's cheap. So what I'm doing right now is I'm here and we're going to drop the oil pan off. I've already got the oil drained out of it, and being lifted actually makes it a good bit easier. See, look, now that light is so much better. Thank you. You're welcome. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take all the bolts out of the oil pan, and then I gotta take, you see right there, I gotta do bell housing, 2 bolts bolted into the oil pan, and then should be able to drop it down and then get into that O-ring and see what we're working with. Alrighty guys, so small problem, but I got a solution. So we can't actually get the oil pan out of here because, you know, it hits the cross member. So, you know, we're sitting here thinking we gotta drop this cross member. Well, not necessarily. Came up here to the front. We do get enough drop. If you see that right there, that is the oil pickup tube, and there's the little bolt that goes up into the oil pump. I think I can get that loose and pull that tube down and replace the O-ring and put it back up in there, and we don't actually have to take the pan all the way down to do that. So the next question is going to be what we're going to do about that gasket, but we'll figure out something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen up that bolt right there and pull that thing down and replace that O-ring, and then I'll pick back up the camera and let you guys know what we've decided to do after that. So it's literally the next day, because we didn't have to hinge the cross member down. We couldn't get it because I forgot about the brackets on the pickup tube and all that, so we did have to drop the cross member down so we could get it out. Here is the item in question, the O-ring seal. Now, you know it's new, and the oil pump's new, this is new, it was all new. Some people were confused thinking I just put it back in there, you know, when we dropped the engine. No, it was all new. You can look at that. That thing's new. But it was crooked in there. It was kind of sitting cattywampus. It wasn't down on its lip. So that could have something to do with it, but I'm not going to put this one back in. I am going to put a new one in. I got a new one. There was a little bit of trash on the screen, but it really wasn't, I mean, it wasn't anything that should have been clogging it up, really. But it's going to be clean now. So, you know, and I mean, the oil pan actually looks pretty clean. We haven't touched it. That's how it looked when it came through and dropped it down. So that's good news. And everything, you know, up in here, a splash pan, all that looks good too. I'm not really worried about anything that I'm seeing. So like I said, we'll replace the O-ring, put the pickup tube back up in there, and then go through the nice process of putting this all back together, and then we'll figure out if that was the oil pressure issue or not. Alrighty guys, so oil pan is back up in here. It's all put back together, brand new O-ring, screen, I mean the whole tube, we cleared all that out. There was a little bit of trash on the screen, but not too much. But everything's already torqued back down, everything's plugged back up, and that's done. So what we're doing now is putting the cross member back up, and that was it. So it's not as easy as it sounds. It really isn't, because we fought with this cross member forever. But if you can pull that thing down pretty quick, then it'll be an easy job. So once we get this cross member bolted back up, we'll put some oil in it, and we'll do the first start, and we'll see how much oil pressure we got. So I'm crossing my fingers here. So I'll pick back up the camera here in just a second. Realistically though, it's going to be about an hour.
Probably two.
2 hours until we get this thing back up in here. I'll show you guys what we're working with here. So you see, we didn't unbolt any of this trying to save time. So now the bushing here is in the way. Up here you see that it's not even close to lining up with the front cross member. So the CV axles are down so we can pull the bolts and all that. So there's a little bit of work to be done. It might be dark next time we pick up the camera, but we're gonna get it done. So I'll pick back up the camera in just a second. All right, so before we continue on with the video, we got a little bit of a teaching moment here. Austin, whose shop this is, and if you guys have been around here for a while, you guys know this is exactly where we did the lift for this truck. He's going to show you how to actually put big ass heavy wheels back on your truck. So this is 113 pounds, and I'm guilty of it too. What you said, people just like to yeehaw them up on there and muscle it. Show us the correct way to do it.
Grab it down the inner side.
Okay.
Use your torso. Flip it up. Get it on that top bar. And boom.
Wham, bam, and done.
Don't hurt your back. Goes on pretty simple.
I'm guilty. I yeehaw them on every time. All right, so as soon as we tighten that down, we'll drop the truck down. We'll put oil in it, and then we're gonna start it and see what happens. All right, guys. So the gauge cluster lights are out. 40 pounds of oil pressure right now on the first start. And sorry, the camera broke up there, but 40 pounds right now. We're gonna go take it for a drive, and we'll see what happens. Like I said, usually it drops as I warm it up. So we're gonna run down the road and see what happens. All right, guys, so it's the next day. It was late by the time we finished up. We wanted to get something to eat. So the bad news is we did not fix the oil pressure issue. When we started it outside of the shop, everything was great. It started like 40 pounds of oil pressure. We let it warm up just a little bit, and we revved it in the parking lot. We were getting like 80 pounds of oil pressure, which I was like, we did it. We finally did it. I haven't seen that in forever. And then we drove it. And we drove it like 15, 20 minutes, and then we were down at 10 again. So, done the pickup tube, O-ring now. The screen wasn't clogged. I don't think it's the oil pump, but that's still on the table. I'm really sure it's not bearings if we're having that much oil pressure, because it wouldn't have zero. So my next guess is that oil pressure sending unit, and that's new. It's new. It's only got 5,000 miles on it, but it doesn't mean anything. Could have gone bad. So that's the next thing to replace, and that's an easy one. So we'll see if that doesn't fix it. But I appreciate you guys watching. We'll keep at it, and I'll do it until it's right, because the Cateye's not going anywhere. There's actually parts on the way for it, for some new stuff, and of course the Duramax has got parts for it too, new headlights and tail lights and stuff like that. So stay tuned. Drop any comments you got down below. Appreciate you guys watching. If you're not already, hit that subscribe button and follow me over on Instagram at Austin04_Z71. Thanks again for watching. Take care. Have a great day.